Hi again, and welcome back to 5 Things from Google. Welcome back indeed to the third in my controversy series. Since it's the new year, I thought we'd look at New Year's resolutions. To be honest, the concept of making a New Year's resolution isn't really that controversial. I think we can all agree. It's time to take stock and look at something we'd like to achieve. For most of us, we have a break, even a short one over the holiday period, and this gives us a chance to look at the new year with fresh eyes and to set some fresh goals. I think the main controversy occurs when our resolutions interfere with others. For example, the first few weeks in January, gyms are filled to the brim with people starting up a training routine, so that the regulars are annoyed with extra people there. Also on that topic is the number of those people who sign up for a year and then stop going by February, and the financial implications of that. Also when people decide they're going to stop eating meat, for example, which impacts on cooking for the family. Then we're imposing our resolutions onto others. Siobhan Hegarty wrote in the abc.net AU this month that the concept of New Year's resolutions is actually a relatively new one. She writes this: "The Gregorian calendar we use today wasn't created until 1852, so it's safe to say making New Year's resolutions on January the 1st wasn't a thing back in Aristotle's time. But that doesn't mean that the ideas of the ancient Greek philosophers and their truth-seeking successors aren't useful when it comes to designing our own resolutions. Whether that's embracing Stoicism to set realistic expectations, leaning on existentialism to disregard the opinions of others, or taking a Kantian approach to imaginative realization, the various schools of philosophy are surprisingly relevant when it comes to our annual endeavour." Dubbed the father of modern philosophy, French mathematician, scientist, and all-round thinker René Descartes enjoyed building his thoughts from the bottom up. According to a Californian professor of philosophy, Amy Kind, Descartes wiped the slate clean so he could establish what was true or false before establishing his foundation of knowledge. The thought is that by setting everything aside, he can dedicate himself to the project ahead, and he doesn't have to worry about building his task on a shaky foundation. That provides a nice analogy for waiting for January the 1st. A common failing among New Year's resolutions is the tendency to set unachievable or impractical goals. This self-sabotaging behaviour could be prevented by looking to the school of Hellenic philosophy, Stoicism. The Stoics said that so much of what we care about, so much of what we invest our time and energy in, is actually beyond our control, she says. That means banking on a promotion or committing to a marathon, regardless of any injuries, can just set us up for disappointment, because ultimately we're not the ones calling the shots. It might be better to say, I'm going to be more diligent at work. I'm going to put in the necessary hours, not just to get the job done, but to get the job done excellently, she explains. The 2006 best-selling self-help book, The Secret, told us to imagine the life you want, because the so-called law of attraction will deliver it to our doorsteps. With respect to the cultivation of habits, I think imagination can play a really big and helpful role, she says. Suppose, for example, you make a New Year's resolution to go to the gym, and by imagining yourself getting up and going to the gym and getting on that rowing machine, or a stationary bike, or whatever it's going to be, once you have really got that picture, not just the idea, but the picture of how you're going to be doing these things, it can really shape the self that you want to become. It was possibly the ancient Babylonians, about 4,000 years ago, who actually started the tradition of making New Year's resolutions. The ancient Babylonians celebrated the new year on the first new moon after the spring equinox. They called it Akitu, and it was a major festival. It lasted for 11 days. During that festival, the Babylonians made New Year's resolutions to keep themselves in good standing with the gods. But kale juice cleanses and the like were unknown back then, of course, so they often resolved to get out of debt or to return borrowed farm equipment. Much more sensible, probably. A 1951 study by sociologist Isidore Thorner found that the practice of making New Year's resolutions was much more common in countries with a strong Protestant influence. For example, in 1951, New Year's resolutions were thought of as a tradition in countries like Australia, England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland and South Africa. Meanwhile, Latin American, Scandinavian, Asian and Eastern European countries just didn't recognise the tradition. Most people don't keep their New Year's resolutions. File that under duh, but you'd be surprised at just how few people actually keep their resolutions. According to the University of Scranton, only 8% of those who make New Year's resolutions actually keep them. Whoops. So how much does culture affect the New Year's resolutions you choose? A 1977 study that compared New Year's resolutions from middle-class American children with those of Amish children found that Amish children tended to focus on activities that would help them achieve their goals. The middle-class American kids, however, tended to focus on results. So an Amish child might resolve to study more, while an American kid might plan to make straight A's. The top 5 resolutions for Americans this year have been the following. Number 5, read more books. Number 4, travel more. Number 3, have more sex. Number 2, lose weight or get in shape. And the top one, interestingly, is save money. If you want some slightly different resolutions though, the RealBuzz.com team have written a list of 10 which are actually quite cool, and they're as follows. Number 10, do something nice for others every day. Number 9, similar to the US list, sort out a financial worry. Number 8, make the usual unusual. For example, wear something you wouldn't normally wear, run a different route, or order a different copy perhaps. Number 7, try a new food every week. Number 6, learn something you never learned as a child. However, their example of doing a handstand may potentially result in physical injury. Trust me on this, I tried a cartwheel just before Christmas and I think I may have lost a hip. Number 5, develop a good relationship with your body. Slightly different from losing weight or going to the gym, they recommend working on improving your body confidence by focusing on the things you do like rather than those you don't. And also learn to dress according to your body shape, showing off your favourite features. Number 4, make a new friend each month. Number 3, break a record, and by that they do mean a Guinness record. Number 2, learn a decent party trick. And number 1, get your photo taken in 5 interesting places. I think there's definitely something on that list for everyone. As for me, my resolution this year is to commit to doing one of these videos every 2 weeks, rather than the haphazard way I've been doing them up until now. In the meantime, Happy New Year to you all. I genuinely hope 2018 is a great one for all of you. Until next time, stay safe, and I will see you back here soon.